And nobody would have ever guessed that this would wind up being his last home run with the Red Sox, because now he's gone. He's off to the gay holy land of San Francisco. And another childhood hero of mine, just like that, ends up in California.
Rafaela, deep center field, way back there. Meadows looks up. It's off the top of the wall. Here comes Gonzalez around third. He will score. Say hello to October. Cedon walks it off.
Man, the last time the Red Sox clinched the postseason, I was in my freshman year of college. A whole lot has happened since then in both my personal life and with this team, my team. I'm a Red Sox fan, if you didn't know. There you go with that jump scare. But this team, after having the miracle run they did in 2021, just shit out triplets for the next 3 seasons. The Red Sox pretty much had the exact same season 3 years in a row. They weren't bad. In fact, they were actually kind of good. Just not good enough. Since 2021, this team's been like a plane that's going really fast on the runway. It just can't take off. This also represents how they've been.
I'm floating.
So thank you for being here, subscribed or not. If you haven't joined the 49% Elite Humans, consider hitting that button if you enjoy the videos, as this season for the Red Sox has felt like 5 different seasons chopped together. It's so weird. They started out by keeping their arguably top 2 hitting prospects in the minor leagues. Tristan Casas was their first baseman. Let's try that again. Tristan Casas was their first baseman. Okay, maybe third time's a charm. Tristan Casas was their first baseman. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Rafael Devers forgot how to make contact with a baseball. Then he forgot how to not make contact with a baseball. Meanwhile, Trevor Story, after already barely playing for the last few years because of injuries, was healthy now. He just sucked. Bad. Like, it was brutal. And then Tristan Casas died. Then the Rafael Devers drama got to a point they felt they had to trade him and his contract of over $330 million. So they did. The sky was falling until it wasn't, until it was again, until it wasn't again. And that's pretty much kept going till now. Meanwhile, over all this time, they called up those 2 top prospects, including the #1 prospect in all of baseball, Roman Anthony, who was incredible until he got hurt. Abraham Toro took over a lot of the first base job after Casas was good at first, then he wasn't, so in comes Nathaniel Lowe off waivers. Masataka Yoshida, who everyone thought was put away in frickin' Alligator Alcatraz, I don't know. He finally came back. Alex Bregman was also hurt for a good chunk of the year. Meanwhile, through all of this, Trevor Story, who again was insanely bad to start the year, especially in May, has completely turned his season around and not only might be the comeback player of the year, he's been one of the most important pieces of this team. Like, it's not even really an argument. If he's not on this team this year, they're not making the playoffs. This is a lot. A lot of everything going on with this team. All that's just scratching the surface, and that's the point. This has not been a pretty year at all in so many different ways, but it's what makes them so special. I really cannot tell you how many times I've borderline given up on this team this year, and I also can't tell you how many times I've been fired up about this team this year. One day I'm thinking we're legit, the next I'm like, fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow. And it's been that way from opening day till now. Now, the Red Sox have been in a pretty good positioning for a playoff spot for a while now. Like, it got to a point where if they didn't make it, it'd be because of some crazy collapse. But after losing 2 of 3 to the A's at home, one of those series that left me feeling like we're done, shit was real. I mean, there was a legit shot you don't make it because the Rangers were hot as balls. So was Cleveland. You don't win some games, you could fall out of it real fast. But thankfully, the offense woke up in Tampa. In the last series the Rays played in at Steinbrenner Field this year. They're going back to the Trop next year. But yeah, Sox scored 9 runs late in the first game to win, then 3 runs in the 9th inning to win the second one, but lost the third, which sucked. But hey, you won the series, which is the most important thing. Plus, the Rangers' massive erection had calmed down. They'd lost like 7 in a row, so they were now out. And the other Texas team down south also seemed to be tapping out. The Mariners just showed them who the real seamen were. So those are 2 teams right there dropping off that helped the Red Sox, who are now onto a very important series in Toronto, who is also playing for something. And that was the one bad thing about having to beat the Blue Jays, is that the Red Sox were also helping out the Yankees by doing that. I mean, wouldn't be the first time Aaron Judge was rooting for these boys, but whatever. Gotta do what you gotta do. And for this series, the Red Sox had their 3 best starting pitchers lined up for it. Game 1, Lucas Giolito. He wasn't awful, but he definitely wasn't sharp. He walked more guys than he struck out, which has been a problem for Giolito this season, the walks. He walks 2 in the second, and then just when you think they're out of it with this ground ball, more shenanigans happen. So the Red Sox are practically begging the Blue Jays to score here. They're like, please, George Springer, do something. Please, we're bent over. Hit us, and he smacks this ball down the third base line. Pretty much the whole ballpark thinks it's fair, but it's called foul. And Springer is shocked. He acts like he just got told he was adopted. This play isn't reviewable, and it's tough to tell exactly, but the call is foul by the third base umpire. Springer's pissed, so the home plate umpire wants to test Springer's anger management even more by calling this strike 3. He's beside himself, goes back to the dugout. He full on says, if they want New York to win, just tell me and give it to them already. Looks like Springer's preparing for his post-baseball career, being a Reddit conspiracy theorist. No, I mean, I get his frustration, but obviously this thing isn't being rigged so the Yankees can win their division. And the Blue Jays manager, John Schneider, said so himself. He said after the game, they're not losing because of the umpires. It's not rigged. They're losing because they're not hitting. And yeah, they only got 1 run this whole game. A game that was tied in the 6th inning before Nathaniel Lowe, who drove in the first run of this game, does it again. 2-1 Sox. Then Carlos Narvaez, a former Yankees prospect who was traded to the Sox before this season, drives home 2 more big insurance runs. So ironically, he actually is helping out New York after all. But he's more importantly helping out the Sox and their bullpen after Giolito gets it done. 4 1/3 shutout innings, Red Sox win. And the next night, they weren't playing. I talked about how their best arms were lined up for this series. Yeah, this game had their best arm and Garrett Crochet, period. That sounds weird. It sounds like I'm saying Garrett Crochet had a period. No, but this game was a bloodbath in large part because of him. They immediately knocked Max Scherzer around for 5 straight hits in the first inning. Masataka Yoshida, who loves hitting in Toronto, drives home the first run. Then Romy Gonzalez, who's been such a key player this year, drives home 2 more. It's 3-0 Sox, and that is all Garrett Crochet needed. Although at first you can't fully be sure with him because Crochet is someone who actually struggles more when his team scores more. It's as if he needs the game to be close to have his best stuff going. Like if the game's 5-0, he loses motivation and starts getting knocked around. Not really, but there might be some sort of mental reason for that. I don't know. But thankfully for this game, Crochet took the runs and appreciated all of them. Or maybe someone told him that the game was 1-0 the entire time. But either way, he gave up just 3 hits over 8 innings and struck out 6. No walks. I mean, the Jays had nothing. This is picture perfect the reason the Red Sox traded for this guy, and here he is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and he's also causing the Jays to lose it. The night before, it was those 2 umpires. This time it was another umpire, the next guy who was behind home plate, and Crochet teaming up. Vladdy Jr. takes this 99-mile-an-hour sinker on the inside corner for strike 3. It's a close pitch, but it is right there. It is borderline, and Vladdy doesn't even say anything. I mean, this may have been one of the calmest ejections of all time, at least from a player's perspective. I think he got tossed because he was drawing a line in the dirt with his bat. It's one of those unwritten rules that umpires feel like they're being disrespected. So Vladdy didn't even have to say anything. The moment he did that, he was gone. And the best part is how he just immediately accepts it, like, all right, bye. I mean, shit, I'd be happy to leave the game, too, if I saw who was on the mound. The Blue Jays coaches were pissed, though. Manager John Schneider argues a little with the umpire. He doesn't get ejected, but then their hitting coach does. David Popkins. Yes, that's his name. So the Jays not having a good time out here. Meanwhile, Masataka Yoshida told you he loves hitting in Toronto. Bomb. Then Jose Barrios is being a bitch again. So Barrios, who's been a starting pitcher his whole life, it's what he's getting paid $18 million a year to do.
That's what I do. That's what you pay me to do.
I guess recently the Blue Jays just don't trust him. It's a combination of that and the starting rotation just becoming more crowded. So he's the odd man out, at least for now. So they moved him to the bullpen. Out he comes, and after a shutout 7th inning, he stays in for the 8th. Second pitch he throws, base hit by Romy Gonzalez before he walks Cedon Rafael to put 2 guys on. And while Lowe was at the plate, Barrios starts having a mini crash out at Romy standing on second because he thinks Romy's stealing and relaying his signs too low at the plate. And Barrios has done this before. He did it earlier this year. He yelled at Cal Raleigh, of all people, he thought was relaying his signs, which he probably was. But whose fault is that? I would say this is like complaining that you got robbed when you parked your Porsche in the sketchiest neighborhood imaginable and left it unlocked. Like, yeah, the criminals are bad. Boo, I don't like criminals, but like that's the point. It's also on you to avoid them because they do exist. But this is actually legal to do. Not stealing Porsches, stealing signs naturally. So it's like leaving something out that doesn't belong to you and then being upset that someone took it. If Barrios put a fraction of the energy he does into getting mad at players stealing his signs and actually hiding his signs, he might be a Cy Young Award winner, but instead, no, he wants to suck, and Carlos Narvaez has zero issue with that, just continuing to help his boys in the Bronx out. Another ball hit by him to right center, except instead of a double, this gets out. 3-run homer, 7-0 Red Sox. And as if this game couldn't be more of an embarrassment, the ending was the cherry on top. So Alejandro Kirk, not exactly the poster child for Peloton, hits this routine grounder to shortstop in the 7th inning. It was right after the ejection, and he was barely in the frame when Lowe got the putout at first. I was laughing at this when it happened, and Kirk must have saw that and said, "Oh, you think that's funny? Watch this shit." 9th inning, Red Sox up 7-1. Kirk knocks one into right field for a base hit, except it's not a base hit because he gets thrown out at first base to end the game. Ridiculous. Sox win, and I had a bad feeling about the next game. Honestly, especially the further it went with it being 0-0. Brian Bayo was pitching well until the 6th, where the Jays eventually went off for 6. Grand slam by Dalton Varsho. Then Springer knocks one out to right for 2 more. Blue Jays really needed this win because the Yankees swept the White Sox, so the two are now tied for the division. So if they lost this game, the Yankees would be in first. So they played like it. All right, whatever. Red Sox couldn't clinch the postseason here, but now they have a shot to do it back home. Thank God the game is on Apple TV. Son of a... Well, whatever. Red Sox now taking on the Tigers, who these games are actually even more important to them than Boston, because the Tigers have really wandered onto the thinnest of ice imaginable right now with their collapse. 4th inning, they got it going, though. They load the bases up with nobody out, and Javier Baez comes through. 0-2, he gets a pitch to smack, and he does. Everyone moves up 1 base. It's 1-0 Tigers. It just gets worse. Next up, Jahmai Jones smacks the 2nd pitch he sees. Tigers were taking Akon's famous words to heart this inning. That's 4 straight hits, 3-0 Tigers. Still nobody out. In comes the bullpen for the Sox. This could turn into a disaster quick, but surprisingly, that was it for this inning. Gleyber Torres grounds out, and it doesn't bring the run home. Next hitter, Wencel Perez, walks, but Spencer Torkelson pops out and Riley Green lines out, and the Sox instantly answer back. Alex Bregman hits a ground rule double, then Yoshida takes the first pitch he sees in the center field to drive him home. Just like that, all of a sudden, things swinging completely the other way. Romy hammers one, but right into the glove of Parker Meadows, and up comes Cedon Rafaela, who grounds into a double play. Man, that's tough. They really got the best of Rafaela there. Looks like they got him locked up. And Casey Mize locked in. Go to the next inning. He strikes out every hitter. See ya, see ya, see ya. On to the 6th inning. Another 1-2-3 inning. Down goes Alex Bregman swinging. On to the 7th. Hats off to the Red Sox bullpen, keeping this game at 3-1, and Yoshida stays hot. Leadoff single. Romy lines out to first, but Cedon makes up for that double play by hitting the double base. 2nd and 3rd, just 1 out. This is where the Tigers made a really interesting decision. So there's 2 left-handed hitters coming out for the Sox, but they put in Kyle Finnegan, a righty. And it like half works. He gets 2 outs, but the first one is a sacrifice fly. So Tigers don't give up the lead, but the lead is now down to 1. The Sox bullpen just kept rolling along. Garrett Whitlock, he's been filthy. He strikes out everyone in the 8th. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Then Carlos Narvaez leads off the bottom of the inning with a little jam shot, base hit. It's a rocket in the box score. Good piece of hitting, and he immediately goes right back to the dugout. In comes Nate Eaton to pinch run. And this is just another reason why this team is just so wild. I don't think really anyone thought Carlos Narvaez would play as big of a role as he has this year as the Sox starting catcher. And absolutely nobody thought Nate Eaton would have any sort of role. Yet here they are. Eaton's another guy who, because of all the injuries and changes throughout the year, he's found himself a spot on this team, and he's been a solid hitter while being an elite base runner because of stuff like this. He steals 2nd and gets all the way to 3rd when the ball goes into the outfield. So just like that, the Sox have the tying run 90 feet away, and Jarren Duran, who's such a solid player, says, "I got you." Base hit, tie game. And before the fans could get ready for the team to potentially rally for the lead, the boys were like, no, we got to do this in style. We got to walk it off. Now, you see those beautiful green uniforms they're wearing, uniforms that pretty much everyone I know has said they're ugly. Screw them. They're great. Well, for those who don't know, these are new for 2025, and they wear them every Friday home game. Every win they've had in these jerseys have been via a walk-off. Every one of them. And there's been 5 of them. So these pretty clearly have magic going for them. And it was Aroldis Chapman's job to keep this baby tied going to the bottom of the 9th. And that's sick, man. You know what he did? he purposefully gave the Tigers hope. Justin Henry Malloy hits a leadoff double, and the Tigers are like, wait, okay, we got something going here. All the while, Chapman knew what he was doing, that sick bastard. Torres grounds out, and Malloy, just 90 feet away from Detroit, retaking the lead, gets a front row ticket to watch Chapman. It's funny because he had the same exact strat for both hitters, and it worked perfectly both times. He's like, I'm going to throw 4 straight pitches over 100 miles an hour and then drop an 88 mile an hour slider that he gets fooled on. Torkelson, 4 straight pitches over 100 miles an hour before dropping a nasty slider that he gets fooled on. Nasty work. Chapman does his job. Now it's the offense's turn. With 1 out, Romy Gonzalez base hit center field. Up comes Cedon Rafaela, who has multiple walk-offs already this season, both home runs. The second one being in these very uniforms. He parked one onto the Mass Pike to end it. Well, this time he does something a little different and arguably a little more epic. He hits one high in the air to straightaway center field. Parker Meadows tries to time this and he fails. The ball is just too high off the wall, and you can see Riley Green's immediate reaction in left field. Like, you can see what was going on in his head at this exact moment.
No. We're completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
Walk-off triple by Cedon Rafaela to send the Red Sox to the postseason for the first time in 4 years. God, this feels good. That's 12 walk-offs on the year for the Red Sox. They lead all of baseball with that. Half of them are with the green jerseys. It's amazing. And Alex Cora, he said it best last week. We're going to suffer, but it's fun. And if that doesn't sum up the 2025 Red Sox in a nutshell, I don't know what does. There's a lot going on with this team, and it's not pretty a lot of the time. But damn it if it isn't beautiful. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.